Hey, what's up guys? It's Isu from Isu Dreams, and I'm super excited to show you guys my first video on YouTube. Although it's not my first video, I have made shorts if you want to go check those out. If you're not familiar with me, that'd be awesome, and it would help to introduce this character that I'm currently drawing a little bit more because I wanted to introduce both her and me because I've just been posting about this character a lot, and I post her more on my Instagram. If you want to go check that out, it's my bio. So this video is just to introduce me and, again, my character, and I hope you enjoy. Trigger warning, there is blood and gore, and this character does have a scar. If that's something that you don't want to watch, then let me know in the comments so I can post less of this stuff. But I really liked this illustration, so I really wanted to post it because I just ended up loving it so much. Right, let's get into this. Again, my name is Isu. It's definitely a weird name, and I have had many a comment about it, but I've learned to love it. It's a name that has really resonated with me over the years because I have considered myself to be a pretty unique person. It was given to me by my parents, and I feel like names are really important, and you'll see with my own characters that I try to pick names that are still unique and really resonate with the character as a whole. I am 18 years old, and I have been drawing for, I want to say, about 10 years now. I've been drawing since 3rd grade, so since I was about 8 years old. And I remember seeing someone else in the class draw so well. And I don't know if maybe it was their parents that drew their class projects or if it was genuinely this person, but I thought it was so cool and so beautiful, and I was like, I'm gonna draw like this. One of these days, I'm gonna be so amazing at drawing that people are gonna love it. So I got my first sketchbook from a family member, and I just started drawing. It would be awesome to do a sketchbook tour one of these days, and I'll definitely put that in my to-do list because sketchbook tours are so much fun. Right. I transitioned to digital art about, I want to say 4 years ago, so when I started high school. And as you know, if you're a traditional artist who switched over to digital, it is difficult. It's difficult, and it just feels like I'm really learning how to draw all over again. I don't understand why it is like that, but it just is, and I'm still figuring out digital art. As you can see, I'm using Procreate. It's my favorite so far, my favorite drawing program that I've used. I haven't really tried other ones, so I don't know if I can really call this my favorite, but it's just the easiest one for me to use, and it's the easiest one to use on an iPad. And it was the easiest one for a 14-year-old. Oh yeah. There's several things that I struggle with when it comes to digital art and to art in general because I am still learning. I do consider myself to no longer be a beginner anymore, but I am nowhere near an expert, and one of these days I really hope that I can be able to confidently call myself an expert or an art god, but I'll always be fluctuating between, oh, this is a really, really good art day. Like, I might be pumping out so many different amazing art pieces in one day, and then I'll go 3 months without touching a piece of paper, or a screen for that matter. It's not always about the quantity, it's about the quality, I like to tell myself, because it's just, I want to get better, so I need to keep going and essentially just try not to stop, because this is something I enjoy, and this is something I want other people to enjoy as well. So, let me introduce my character along with my journey of making her. So, I came up with an idea for a character, again, about freshman year. So, I was 14. I think it was really sophomore year where I was like, let's make this character a reality. I've just ended up loving her so much over the years. I've really curated a story around her, and I'm currently writing a book about this character and a few other ones that I will introduce in later videos, which I'm really excited to do as well because these characters do hold a very special place in my heart because they've kind of been with me through thick and thin. They got me through high school. This character's name, her name is Zephyr. Her last name is kind of hard to figure out because I always forget it. It's not something set in stone because I just call her by her first name a lot and a bunch of little nicknames that I have for her because it's just fun to make nicknames for these characters. One of her nicknames, my favorite one, is Zip or Zippy because she's a very energetic person. She'll usually just jump around from thing to thing, and it's just so fun to really make a character like this because her counterpart is a much more chill and relaxed person. In this world that she is in, she was trained by Merlin in Camelot, and her powers reside within the moon. So she has moon powers, but I designed her specifically to have more of the vibes of a character who is based off of the sun. But I've always believed the moon to be a very feminine being, so she's going to be feminine no matter what. So Zephyr is very connected to the oceans and to the sky and water and just all these things, and I picked that specifically because I love the ocean. The ocean is a safe place, although I do not really live near an ocean. It's just something that I've always loved as long as I can remember. I just always needed to be near the ocean. It's just landlocked is not fun. I need a body of water. Zephyr is currently, she became a pirate. She is a pirate queen, as you probably remember if you have watched Pirates of the Caribbean, where Elizabeth Swann became a pirate king. I wanted those vibes. I really, really wanted those vibes for Zephyr. So I did that, and I was like, Zephyr, you're going to have the vibes of Elizabeth Swann. I've based her off a bunch of other characters too, and I've obviously based her off of myself because I also do firmly believe that OCs and any original character that you make is always going to have a part of you just because they're pretty much like your children. They are someone and something that you took a piece of your soul and you put it into this thing and just made it become real. And I think that's right for any sort of art piece. So Zephyr, again, is a pirate. Just like an absolute menace. Think the Black Pearl if she was a real person. I have always loved very piratey stuff. I grew up in Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just something that I enjoy a lot. So I really wanted to make a character that resonated with that. So here she is. I don't want to tell you too much about my book. That will be a separate thing where I can go more in depth on how my book is and how my process is and all that stuff. I haven't gotten super far into it because planning is kind of hard, but that's not what's important right now. So Zephyr, who's lived through the days of Camelot, she's lived through modern day as well. She was a guardian for something called the Astral Orb, which holds all magic for everything in the world. After a severe downfall of civilization, humanity kind of reverted back to the olden days, like ye olden stuff, medieval times. Think Camelot 2.0. So she is the Robin Hood of this specific kingdom that my other character is king of. He is a very sweet character. He's very kind. He's a kind king, except sometimes he will end up letting people take advantage of him. Hence, Zephyr feels like the king, when it's really not super the king's fault, is doing bad things. So she turns into the Robin Hood. She is taking money from the king and taking supplies and all things and redistributing it back to the people because they deserve to have a life of somewhat luxury because they love their king, they care for their king, except some people do not always agree with the king, like Zephyr does. She just does not vibe with this person at all. She doesn't know that it is her best friend from Camelot, but that's something that she will have to learn later, unfortunately. So she's always just giving back to the people, and everybody loves her. But obviously, the people in charge of the laws and the police and all these things, are actively looking for her because she is dangerous. Despite the fact that she is giving back to the people, they think that she's stealing from us. That's not okay. That is against the law. You should not be stealing from the people who have more money than you, because that's how that works. So they are just always constantly looking for her because 1, she's a pirate. 2, she's a woman pirate. She's dangerous. Not everybody realizes that she is a woman pirate. Only the people who have met her in person know that she's a woman. So everybody else assumes she's a man because that's unfortunately kind of how our world works. And no hate to the men, but you guys could be doing better, just as everyone can. So this pirate goes by the name Skua. It's a bird, and it's a very dangerous type of seabird. And I really enjoyed that name because it sounded both masculine and feminine, and it was just, this is a dangerous bird, and Zephyr is free like birds are. So I wanted her to have a nickname where you can't really tell whether it's male or female, but it's just equally as powerful. So I gave her the name Skua. So these people are always actively looking for Skua, and when the kingdom starts to fall to ruin, and not to ruin, but it's getting to the point where stuff is no longer working as it should. Things are getting more dangerous, and for some reason there's something mystical and magical happening, and only the king who has experience with magic notices that. Zephyr also notices that because she does have magic, but she thinks it's more of the king's fault, so she doesn't really pay attention, and she focuses on helping the people rather than, deciding to mess with the king. Instead, the king comes to find Skua, to find this man, and stumbles into her, and it's like, hey, where do I find this Skua? She takes him to his ship, and he is going to look for the astral orb. The astral orb will help and really unleash the power that they need to save their kingdom. Zephyr only agrees because the king is undercover, and she doesn't realize who it is and knows that the kingdom needs help, so she will gladly help. She's still a good person and still a kind person. So, back to Zephyr's childhood and talking about this king who is undercover. She had 2 best friends in Camelot, one who is the main villain of the story and one who is the king. Whoa, the king isn't the main bad guy? No, he's not, because he was being taken advantage of, and just so many wrongdoings were happening with him, and he is one of our protagonists, believe it or not. The other is another woman that Zephyr just absolutely connected to. They were basically like sisters. And after the days of Camelot were kind of over, they had gotten separated, and a king, whose name is Iserdukes, and Zephyr were led to believe that Vivian was dead, and was dead for a very long time. We can do another like prologue, preludes type of stuff on why they believe that, because that's not kind of that's just a fun little snippet for another time. And later, Zephyr and Iserdukes are led to believe that each other are dead. That's why they don't really recognize each other when they meet again, and they need to find the astral orb. But both of them were protectors of the astral orb once upon a time, but after they had gotten separated, the astral orb just kind of went wherever. It needed to keep itself safe, so it went from place to place, never in the same spot twice. So Zephyr needs to embark on this journey with the undercover king to find the objects needed to unlock this astral orb. There's several objects that she actually scattered across the world when in the trust of people she trusted. And then she, like I said, she and the king go looking for these, and the king doesn't really know what's going on, and blah blah blah, all these things are happening, and yeah. So, kind of just to recap, I'm Isu, and this is my channel, and this is my first YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is really fun to make, and this illustration was really fun to draw. I like drawing. I'm getting better at backgrounds, so if you're judging my background work, respectfully, please stop judging, I guess. Backgrounds are hard. I'm getting there. Go please check out my bio. My Instagram is on there, and I would really appreciate if you would give me a follow and subscribe on here. I try to post as often as I can, and if I am, I'm posting about my book, which does not have a title yet. It's called Project Wizards as of now. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.